Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Ike MMA show, the Ike MMA podcast. I'm joined in the studio today with the KO King himself, Mr. Louis KO King, um, who's fighting out with it Colosseum Gym. You still with the same guys, is it?
No, no, not
No.
Coliseum, mate. I fight now. Call that's old school. That's going back, mate. They were my roots, so I'll never forget my roots. But
Okay.
no, I'm now teamed up with Kettle's Gym, Kettle's and Bruce Gym in Horton and Kirby, and Mercer's Gym in Borden.
Okay. I see. No, awesome. Definitely, I'll definitely look into that and make a note of it because I was looking at a lot of your fights and I think not just your fights but also your past record as well. Your just your fights. I think because I think you've done kickboxing and you've done some mixed martial arts as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had a couple of mixed martial arts. See, I've had I've won one and I've lost one. So, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, yeah, and it's something I'll probably will end up doing again.
No, good. I like to see that. I mean, seeing how you fight and you just keep going for your opponent until you drop them. So again, what I was saying before earlier. You know, after seeing your past fights, I would hate to be your opponent this coming Saturday. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, all this work, mate. All this work. I just want to get it done now. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, no, of course, definitely. So this Saturday going to be fighting. Is the event's held by the MTGP. I think you're going to be fighting the KGP side of things, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah,
Kickboxing.
on the kickboxing side. Yep, yep.
So this Saturday on the 9th of July, and your opponent trying to pronounce his name, his Mexican name, Corvatez. I can't.
It's
His first name is Guan.
I thought it was Juan, but it's Juan. I think it's pronounced Juan Cervantes.
Aha.
So
Yes, that sounds much more correct. Um.
yeah.
Well, let's get straight on to the fight itself. How is the fight preparation going? And what's your diet like, fight camp, and just your overall schedule on a daily basis, and then run up to Saturday night?
Yeah, it's pretty full on. Twice a day, 6 times a week, all over the place. So I travel to Kent to my gym in Kettles, as well as traveling around to Borden. Also over to Brian Turner for my S&C over in Aldershot. So I'm literally bouncing around all over the place, as well as going to my local gym, Unique Physique, down there for weight cut and weight management and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's just full on. But I love it, and as well as that, I get up early in the morning for my 5K runs, my sprint work and all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty, if I've got energy for the day, I'll leave it. If I've done my 2 sessions and I've still got some in the tank, I'll go for a third, and just keep going really. And then, but you'll come to a point sometimes, when you feel like your body's tired, give your body that day you need to recover, and then back on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now that I've been talking to some fighters for about approximately over a year, I have to say that I've noticed that you guys do travel great distances to train at a particular gym, no matter where the gym is, no matter where it is you live, where you're based. Does all that traveling have an effect on maybe your sleeping patterns, maybe your diet and overall health? I mean, no, go ahead.
No, I think it comes down to. I mean, it's down to preparation. I mean, one of my gyms is only like 20 minutes away from me. The other one's an hour and 15, hour and 20 away from me. So I don't mind doing the travel, to be honest. It's nice. I get up in the morning, I'll travel over there, I'll do my workout, and I'll come back. I'll stop somewhere, I'll get my lunch, I'll have my food, rest for a bit, then I'll hit the road and then come home, and then I'll just chill for ready for my next session. So it's not too bad, I'll try and get it all done in a reasonable time. But yeah, I don't think it. I think some fighters might have that trouble with however far they got to go, etc. But
Yeah.
for me, I enjoy it. I like driving anyway, so I enjoy
Oh,
the travel, and I
yeah.
know I'm gonna go somewhere to get beasted, and I can chill out on the way home. So it doesn't really matter to me, you know.
No, that is good. As long as you like and comfortable with it, then no, I wouldn't complain either.
Sure, sure.
Um, so your diet and just as in for this particular fight, will you have had to have made weights? And are you a bit too far out of range, or do you have to cut weight to make weight for this fight?
Oh god, yeah. I walk around. Well, yeah, I walk around at like 98 kilos. So
Okay.
it's quite heavy, and then obviously I fight at 85. So it's always a big drop. So
Yeah, yes.
I've come down a lot. Yeah, and I'm still cutting now. So I've got I've managed to get myself down to about 87.5 kilos. I've still got the rest of today. I'll probably, after chatting with you, probably go down and try and get rid of some more kilos down at the gym, and then I'll wake up in the morning, check my weight, and go again. And then whatever I have left, I'll wake up, say 5 in the morning on the day of the weigh-in, jump in the bath, boiling hot bath, sweat it out for a bit, check my scales, make sure I'm on weight, and then drive to London and go and
Mm.
hit the scales, and then I can eat and drink.
That I know that you guys use a lot of saunas to help burn off the extra fats and burn off
I
the
don't
extra
use
weight.
the saunas. I don't really use the saunas, but a lot of fighters do. I use hot baths
Yeah.
and sweatsuits, and I
Now,
gain and I work it off. I work it off.
yeah, no, yeah, the hot baths, does that actually, is it effective to cut all that extra weight?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent. I mean, it depends how much you cut. And I never like to do more than 2.5, maybe 3 kilos if I
Okay.
can help it. But that all comes down to my preparation leading up to the fight and how much I've managed to get rid of before I get there. Obviously, the last fight, I was cutting every single day, right up until the day of the fight. It zapped all my energy. I had no
Mm,
energy. I literally nothing. I had no energy for the fight either. I looked like a bag of shit, to be honest, and I didn't feel on point at all, mate. I cut
good Lord.
I came down too quick, and I was cutting all the way, so all my nutrients and vitamins and my salts are out of my body. So I didn't feel great at all. I didn't feel like I was full of beans at all.
Now you say that was for your last fight, but you've been fighting for a long while, at least 10 plus years, over 10 years now.
16
Um,
to be exact.
so my mistake. Yeah, I heard that in one of your interviews online. Yeah, you said
mm,
16 words, word for word. My mistake.
mm,
Um,
no worries.
as you've been, of course, been doing this for a long time, so clearly you're quite experienced in different things in when it comes to preparation, not just the
Sure.
training side, but the dieting and just cutting weight. Have you ever had to cut weight so drastically that you kind of told me that you felt like a bag of crap on the last
Yeah.
one of the last weight cuts you did, but have you ever had to cut weight so much that maybe, and you must have seen this happen at one of the big promotions, UFC, Bellator, so much that on weigh-in day you just can't stand on the scale, you collapse on the scale, or to the extent that your brain is vibrating in your skull, you can feel it vibrating subtly inside there.
Cool. Yeah. I remember when I think it was the third professional fight, and it was against Colin Wilby on UCMA. And we had the phone call come through, and we only had 2 weeks notice, and I was quite heavy, so we done about near on 15 kilos in 2 weeks. And it was yeah, there was days I wasn't eating, just stupid amounts of food, like, and tiny. I felt rotten, and then on the day, I felt, yeah, I couldn't even talk. My voice was like, it's because I had nothing in me. I felt like completely depleted of everything. I had,
Really?
like, yeah, I literally, I felt like I was going to faint while I was doing the baths. I was literally trying to strip the weight and get rid of all the water from me as quick as possible. Dangerous as you like, but yeah, we went hard because I thought it was a big opportunity to get on there, which it turned out to be all right, So but we did it. We got there and we done it, and we still won. So yeah, but that was awful.
You see, stuff like that, because they say the weight cut really is the hardest part of the preparation. Would you do that again for, because I know when you win the fight, you get, there's your rankings, you benefit from the ranking change. There's also the prize money as well. Now I'm just thinking about some of the answers that your fellow fighters have given me from the other interviews I've done before in the past, but the weight cut was so extreme, and you felt so horrible. Would you do that all over again for another win and for another payday?
To be fair, I think because I'm contracted at this weight, at 85, I think the older I'm getting, it gets a little bit harder to keep getting down all the time. So I think it comes down to me managing myself a bit better after the fights, maybe not getting so heavy and maybe staying a little bit lighter, so it's not too far to come back down. But I think after I've done the contract, I'm going to see if I can go back up to 90 kilos, fight at 90. So it's not because I can easily get down to 90 and sit there and I feel great. And then the rest of it, it keeps fluctuating. So I come down, then they say again, I back up there again, and it come down, and it go back up, and I'm like trying to keep fighting it to keep it down. So it's getting a little harder. Don't get me wrong, but I think I think once I've done it, I'm all right. I can replenish, but yeah, I will probably go back up weight classes again to match more, make it more easy for myself.
Now, what do you make of your opponents?
He's
Juan.
he's a credible fighter, mate. I mean, I've seen a little bit on him. Then again, I don't look too much into the fighters, but he's very credible. I know he's been in the ONE FC. He's fought on the ONE. He's fought on other various shows at a very good level. He's a very good fighter. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I know he lost on his last fight. So did I. So I'm pretty sure that we're both going to be looking to get that win. He's going to be game. I'm game. So but yeah, I think he's a good lad. So fair play. I haven't met him yet, so we'll see him on Friday.
Good fighter, but then again, I've seen your fights as well, and I still stand by what I said. I wouldn't like to be your opponent this coming Saturday. I mean, do you think you'll walk through him, or do you think that this will be a challenge? I mean, do you want to put on a good show for us to watch?
I never make predictions. I go in there knowing I've done my best. You know, if I fail to prepare to fail. Do you know what I mean? But I prepared well, and I'm prepared for a good show. I'm prepared to put on a good show, and I'm prepared to give him the hardest fight he's going to ever have. And we all hope to get in there and all walk out safe. So my plan is to get in there, get it done, and we all go home safe.
Well, no, definitely, of course. This is the first time that I've interviewed you and really spoken to you, though it's not exactly face to face, but it's through a internet medium. I'd like to just take things back a little bit. What got you, as in, where did your interest for the? I mean, I've seen some of your interviews, just hearing about your backstory and what happened with your parents, and but for you, where did the interest for combat sports as a whole, where did that stem from?
I think when I was growing up, I was always intrigued. Like I always loved watching Mike Tyson. Do you know what I mean? I thought he was an animal. I used to think I'd love to be like that, and that was obviously boxing. And I tried various martial arts, and growing up, and then it was a day when Coliseum, going back to them days when I used to smoke weed and things like that, and walk past the club where there was always kickboxing. And in the end, he was constantly trying to get me to come in, and I was like, nah, not today, man. As you do, smoking away, walking up the road. And in the end, I'll just give it a go. I thought, you know what, try and give it another go. Like, take it more serious this time. Get in there, and yeah, within 3 months, I was done my first amateur fight, and he said I really had something. So and then I just put my good hands to use, I suppose, and I started doing well, and then here I am.
You said the first or the next 3 months after you walking into that Coliseum gym for the first time, you're already standing in the cage, wherever it may have been, and you're about to perform or about to compete in your first amateur fight.
Yeah, I think it was within about 3 or 4 months or so, something like that. And yeah, I think we had a fight. I think it's 2005, 2006, something like that. My first amateur fight. And then that was on Jeremy Bailey's show, home show back in Newbury. back in the day. And from there onwards, mate, went there, had 5 amateur fights, and then made the transition to professional. And yeah, here I am now, 16 years later.
Oh my God. I mean, okay, for some people, for me, I mean, I would feel very vulnerable, and I'd feel that there's still so much about this sport to learn that I would try not to, for my own personal case, I'd try not to feel I'm going to jump the gun or anything like that. But
Sure.
for the fact that you did it in 3 months, you must have picked this up really, really quickly.
Well, to be fair, I always, you know, always had a good right hand on me anyway from previous experiences on the street. I wasn't an arsehole, but yeah, you know, I wasn't an arsehole, but you know, growing up being a mixed race lad, people can say the wrong things sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and you just defend yourself, don't you? And no matter how big, how small, you just do it. And it worked. I just kept on putting people out. So, and then it was always me, no matter if they started the trouble or what, it was always me that was getting in trouble. So it was a way really of doing something where you could release without get paid for it rather than getting arrested for it.
No,
so
I understand
to
that.
speak.
I get
A
that.
positive and a positive way, you know, a positive outlook, turning it into a positive rather than a negative thing.
At school, you weren't ever bullied a lot by people, that there was just so much anger that you wanted to vent out, and frustration you wanted to vent out?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't the, you know, when I was growing up, I was all quite a little mouthy thing, you know, but I was very polite still to people, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, conflict. I wasn't really too interested in conflict. You know, I used to run away a lot when I was real young from fights. Used to run away from them. I didn't want to engage, but you know, getting older and older, you sort of the people you meet and the people you sort of befriend as you're getting older bring stuff out in you, make you realise you know you're worth a bit, and then sometimes it takes that one day when you stand up for yourself, and that is it, and then it turns another leaf, and then from there onwards, it's you realise that you are a lot, you know, a lot stronger in your mind and body than you realise, and your confidence starts growing, and then you just grow. You just, you know, grow with it, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay, so I already asked the fighter this before, but this Saturday, if you do win, in fact, for the fights that you've won for in the past, those competitions that you come away as the successor, how do you normally celebrate? Do you go out for a massive cheat meal, or like a one weekend bender, just drinking all day and night, just to relieve the stress and everything? Yeah.
definitely have a weekend or week getting very pissed. And eating a lot of food as well, man. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've not been restricted too much coming up to this one. I always say burn more than you put in, so always work harder than what you're eating. Get them calories gone. That way you can still enjoy, without being a pig, you can still enjoy little bits of what you want, but as long as you're training hard enough, you can you still cut the weight, you know what I mean? So I've not been too restricted on this one, so yeah, I will look forward to filling my face for sure.
Of course. Good. Again, going back to like your videos and the posts I've seen, you don't seem, and I think there's something I can say about other athletes within MTGP and KGP. You don't seem to be the sort of guy that likes to trash talk at all.
No, don't do all that bollocks.
Really?
Some people it works for. For me, no. Do you know what? I'd rather go and meet. Well, I'll meet my opponent, shake his hand. If I've got chocolate, he can have a bit. If I've got sweets in my hand, he can have some. And then we get in there and we have a good tear up. He hasn't done anything to me. I haven't done anything to him. He's got there's no reason to hate on your fighter. They're there to try and pave a way for the same as you are. They're trying to be successful, the same as you. I just enjoy getting in there and having a good fight with someone that wants to have a good fight back, and then shake hands and have a beer afterwards, mate.
Mm. You don't feel that, you don't agree with the, okay, fine. We see that a lot in the bigger promotions, UFC, and yeah, mainly in the UFC. But you don't, you do understand that if we do the trash talk, even though you have said it's not your cup of tea, um, if you do that, you do also increase and raise the hype, and then come fight day or fight nights, there's more eyes, more attention, and your pay-per-views, if you're lucky, will be
Of
through the
course,
roof. Yeah.
it's all about bums on seats and eyes, isn't it? It's all about getting the crowd riled up for it. It's all about, you know, building the fight, as they say, building it up. But yeah, listen, I do what I do because I love doing it, and you know, if you know, as I say, I'm 37 years old. I'm still winning titles. I'm still doing what I can, mate. I don't need to be chatting shit to someone, and you know, he's there to do it as well. But if you got someone who wants to chat shit, let them. Then that will build the fight. I'll let them do the talking. I'll talk with my hands in the ring. Simple as that.
Yes, no, I agree with that actually, and we saw a good example of that this past weekend with Sean Strickland and the Alex Pereira.
Yeah, that's it.
On
I watched that back.
and the trash talking and the trash talking we saw at the press conference a couple of nights before. I think it was actually between Strickland and Adesanya, but I think Strickland was saying to Adesanya, "Yeah, tell me what I shouldn't do. Is he tell me what I shouldn't do?" And then got in the cage, and we saw, well, you know, it was eating humble pie.
100%, mate. Yeah, that's a simple reason why you don't trash talk.
Yeah,
Because
right.
sometimes you can bounce back. Some people it works for, man. Don't get me wrong. Conor McGregor, for instance, that works for him sometimes, most of the time. But you know, yeah, no, it's nice to see people eating humble pie.
Of course, no, definitely couldn't agree with you more.
Sure.
So you are, I think I can call you a veteran of the sport, coming from different sides, but of a combat sports as a whole. 16 years, you're only 37, you're still young.
Still young, man.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Speaking of the bigger promotions such as UFC and Bellator, do you see yourself at some point fighting the bigger names at all?
I would love to. I would love a chance. You know, Glory One FC would be amazing for the kickboxing. Bellator, I almost had my chance at. I was meant to fight Charlie Ward, but I went to Thailand and trained out there. I came back, but I got I caught mumps. So I had the mumps. So I must have caught it from somebody out there because obviously you're mixing around training with people. I didn't have my jabs, so yeah, I ended up catching the mumps like a couple of days before the weigh-in, and my neck was swollen, my testicle was bigger than my hand. I was in a very, very bad way, and yeah, I wasn't allowed to fight for shit. So yeah, that fight, and I missed my opportunity. So, but I was meant to fight on yeah, Bellator back in the day, mate. And but hopefully one day, you know, he still wants to fight, and I still want to fight. So who knows?
Now you say Bellator. I've asked some fighters the same similar question about fighting the bigger names. You say Bellator, the UFC doesn't tempt you at all.
No, because obviously I'm not doing the mixed martial arts side of it, and obviously I've not built up a name in that side of the sport. So kickboxing, and you know, it's always been my thing. Which we all still learn, you know, we all still learn. I'm still learning stuff now. You never stop learning in this sport, you know, so you've got to be an open book, haven't you? But yeah, who knows, if I start, you know, if I do start going down the MMA route again and start putting people out quick, and you know, maybe you get noticed, and hopefully you go through the doors quicker, you know. But yeah, as I say, man, I'd love a chance to fight kickboxing, whether it's in MMA gloves or 10 ounces on the one, or go to Glory, you know, or Infusion, you know, King of Kings, anything like that. Some big promotions, but I think, you know, MTGP is doing really, really good, and they're spreading out. They're spreading like wildfire, mate, and they're up and coming, and now they've teamed up with the One as well now.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
So hopefully, it opens more doors for us fighters to earn a lot more money and make it worth it.
I think the decision you told me that you would make of choosing Bellator over the UFC, even despite you not building up your brand in that side of combat sports. I think
Sure.
Bellator, they are known, you may not be so famous, but I've said this before, they are known for treating the fighters well in terms of paying them what they're worth, paying them properly. Whereas the UFC, you have to sacrifice money, which is what you need to survive and to maintain yourself. You have to sacrifice money for fame.
Right.
Yeah. So I do see the reason why you go down that route instead of going down the opposite route
Of course.
of fighting for the UFC.
Of sure. Yeah. As I say, man, we're in it for the love of the sport. In it for the love of the sport, and because we just love doing it, and the money's not great at all. But there's a reason why we're doing it, and that's obviously to make bigger money one day. And to say, look, I did it. I'll give it a go, and I'll give it my best shot. I don't think I'll ever quit until my body decides to tell me to.
I think it's still gonna be a long while before that happens. Because you
100%.
even look younger than your 37 years.
Thank you very much for the compliment, man. I appreciate that. I really do. It's probably the weight cut, mate.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
You have 2 children, 2 daughters, you said.
I do indeed, yes.
Would you, like, as in future, probably about 10 or 15 years down the line, would you encourage them also to go into, probably not kickboxing or probably not mixed martial arts, but would you encourage them to go into a particular field of combat sports as well?
Yeah, I would definitely like them. I'd definitely like to teach them or send them to get taught, just for self-defense reasons, really. Just so they can look after themselves. You know what this day and age is like, man. No one likes to fight fair these days, and it's always in groups and things like that. So I want my daughters to look after themselves the best they can when daddy's not around, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be their career. It doesn't have to be, as long as it's something they use in their weekly routine, just for a bit of fitness, confidence, and self-defense. Then I'll be happy.
And again, as I said before, you've been in this sport for so long. What other plans do you have? I mean, are you thinking of maybe in the next 5 or 6 years? Would you like to set up your own business, your own gym, maybe even start up your own fight promotion?
Yeah, do you know what? I've been waiting to do something like that for a long time, and hopefully there'll be some big news in a couple of years, say, partnering up with a good friend of mine, and hopefully bringing fighters through the ranks ourselves. And yeah, definitely always wanted to have my own gym, but if I can do it with someone who's very experienced in the game as well, and we can bring fighters through, give them a good chance, then yeah, I'm all for it, mate. I want to definitely go down the coaching route after I've done with my career, but for now, I'm far from done just yet. So
No, of course.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep going, man. We're gonna keep going.
Because I mean, I know it's going to be a long time before you hang up your boots and your gloves, but being in the sport for so long and be fighting for so long, you clearly have a lot of experience and knowledge to share with people.
Sure,
So,
man.
yeah,
I'd like to think so.
But you say like to think so, you must do so. You must,
sure, yeah,
because you've been in the game for so long.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a long time, man. It still feels like yesterday, though. It's crazy. I mean, it's no matter what you do, still get the same nerves when walking into a fight after there's many fights I've had. It still feels like I'm still every time it's something different. Each fight camp's different. So it feels like it's new all the time. It's it never gets old. So it's good. It's refreshing. Do you know what I mean?
You said that when you're walking into a fight, walk into up to the cage or to the ring, wherever, you still feel somewhat fearful or awkward or nervous.
Yeah, man. I need that though. You need that to fire on all cylinders. You can't be flat and relaxed in this game, mate. You need to feel it all in order to be the best, to get the best out of yourself. Shall I say? Sorry. You need to. Yeah. you need to feel the nerves, man, and that fear. Because, you know, it's a combat sport after all. We're not going out there to play football.
Of course, yeah.
we go in to knock our opponent out and hurt him in a graceful way to win, to be the best.
Last but not least, are there any sponsors, affiliates, or any other names you want to give a shout out to?
Cool. There's a lot. You'll have to bear with me. I need to think here. So we've got Macron, who does all my walkout sports. Macron Hastings, Dave Hennon. Massive shout out to him. Christ, we've got loads, mate. DK Groundworks, Solutions Group, Georgina Clare Aesthetics, Gazdon's Gardens, Gazdon's Luxury Gardens, Evolve, CSP Security. Christ, who else? I don't want to miss anyone out while I'm still going, you know. Man, there's loads. I mean, AWB, recycling. Christ, yeah, there's a few, man. I'm obviously my teams, Mercer's Gym, Kettles, Stamina Martial Arts, Brian, Unique Physique, my family, MTGP for giving me opportunity, yourself for giving me you know, for reaching out and giving me the podcast and that. It's so yeah, it's brilliant, mate. It's there's a lot of names. There's a lot. If I've forgotten anyone, I apologise. But yeah, it's yeah, I just want to thank everyone that's been a part of my my support through the whole of my career, really, and everyone that's still there now. Yeah, it means a lot.
Liz, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you so much. And
thank you very much.
Yes, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday 9th at the KGP, and I look forward to seeing you finishing off your opponent and the fight in style with a nice knockout.
Thank you very much. Look forward to it.
Thank you. Good luck. Take care.
Take care, mate. Take care. Bye-bye.